Hello. Can you believe it?
The heck are you?
I'm still in my apartment.
Not this again. Episode 489, and she is still in her apartment.
Uh-huh. But now
There's
everybody's
a light
involved.
at the end of
the health department.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. The LA Housing, the Board of Housing.
This
the
has
housing
escalated.
department. Oh, I have taken it up the chain. Also, on recommendation of wonderful people out there, including brainiacs, I got my house tested for mold. Off the charts.
No. What do
Susie,
you do? Like, how do you get it tested?
I had a mold company, a mold and water damage company, paid for them to come out of pocket, because my apartment sure as hell isn't doing anything like that. Wow. Had them come out, swab the areas, do a test with this machine that measures the moisture content. 100% moisture content in the wood, in the doors.
Oh my
and
God.
then they tested the swabs, came back, and it says it's on a scale of 1 to 4, 1 being nothing, and 4 being, this is some serious shit. 4+ is what ours came back as. In the worst kind of mold.
No.
So, and then we realized, put 2 and 2 together, and the guy starts asking, so have you experienced any sort of respiratory issues or allergies or stuff like that? Or
and you're like,
and
yeah, I thought I had COVID.
Yes, exactly, Susie. Exactly. Wow. I went out and got the COVID test, and they were like, no, negative. I'm like, why do I have a sore throat? Why do I have, my chest is, hurting? Why do I have, you name it, all the other stuff except the fever, except, I wasn't ever getting a fever. I was just feeling well, don't you know? So Ren went to the allergist, we went to the doctor, and now Bo's going to the vet next week to get herself tested for mold, because all of us are sick.
That is
now
awful.
It's
I
a
hope
whole
you
thing.
Take them to the cleaners.
I am, yeah. And, oh, gosh. Oh, my God, I'm getting all worked up.
It's all right.
My blood rate, or heart rate, or whatever. This is what I hate, that I have to go to these extremes.
Right.
Right.
Yes. I feel your pain. It's awful.
It's just is and I can't help but be reminded of the pain of, what do you want to call it? I'm trying to think of how the decision Johnny made in that Rivals 3, the feeling of injustice. Is one that I'm not going to sit with. And maybe I just have too much free time on my hands, or because I can't go outside and do anything and I'm trapped in this apartment, I don't want to go outside and do anything because, I would like to keep people alive. I got a lot of free time to become a, part-time paralegal or whatever, which I feel like I am. So... yeah, it's been a real...
I hope all this has a happy ending.
Me too. At the very least, some allergy medication.
At the very least.
Yes.
By the way, I've been meaning to update you about my ghost.
Susie! Oh, tell me! Oh my gosh, I have so much to talk to you about on this subject too.
Oh, good. Okay. No,
yeah.
It's just I live in a haunted house, period.
Oh my God. Guys, you heard it here. Mark the date and time. Write it down. Susie, full believer.
I don't want to believe. I think it's ridiculous, but
you're the opposite of me. You have the opposite. I have the Fox Mulder poster that says I want to believe, and it has the pictures of aliens, and Susie's has a picture of I don't know, whatever the opposite of that shit is, with something that says, I do not want to believe. A big cross line through it. Oh, that's so funny. So tell me.
It is fun, the metaphysical stuff, but in actuality, I was always that's bullshit. But I don't know how to explain what's happening. Such things as, I turn off the light to come up to bed, and it just comes right back on over and over again. A switch. And I'll be Adam, we definitely live in a haunted house. He's like, yeah, that light switch is just sticky. I'm like, yeah, because there's a ghost finger on it.
what does Lincoln say? This is, okay, because we need to update everybody, because I don't think they...
Yeah, we didn't do the update.
We didn't do the update because they didn't... Oh, Susie, this is so exciting. So, if you remember back a few episodes, probably like 10 or 12 now, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And Susie was sharing how Adam saw a ghost.
Right.
Ooh.
Spooky.
No, Adam saw a ghost. And I said, well, you know what you have to do. Well, I didn't even say you have to. I said, Lincoln will tell you.
Right.
My words on the podcast.
Right.
Recorded.
Right. So that night at dinner.
Yes.
Adam was like, how did the recording go? I was like, oh, I was talking about the ghost. And Lincoln goes, oh, you mean the one that lives here?
Oh,
and I was like, what do you mean?
On.
And he was like, the lady that lives here.
The lady. Mm-hmm. Look at how you didn't even tell me that part, Susie. I'm so glad you didn't, because I can get worked up right now. Look at how he knew it was. Listen, I don't even believe in, like, I do, but I question it. But I just get really excited because I want to believe.
It's fun. The unexplained is fun.
Susie.
Whatever it is.
Okay, so have you had any other sightings?
No other sightings, just weird activity. And I feel like whoever it is benevolent. I don't fear for my life or anything.
She's very, she seems, from what you're telling me, like, very nice.
Maybe a prankster.
Lonely.
Oh.
She wants attention. So maybe okay. You know what? Maybe, like, ask her, are you interested in talking to her?
I mean, sure, if you think I should.
Like, maybe, I feel like Adam would be into this.
He's already doing it.
I'm like, get Adam.
He talks to her all the time.
Okay, see, there you go. This is great. So maybe, like, setting up an area of the house that can be hers.
Oh, my God.
Maybe that'll help contain her. Like, what do you like to do? Like, you like to read? You like to...
Maybe she likes music.
Look at nice things?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
She could go where
and
we
so
play.
Maybe... Yeah, because if she's like bugging you and like doing stuff to get attention, maybe you just got to like give her some or something.
What do you think the percentages of people who genuinely believe in ghosts? Like if we did a poll.
Like genuine, because I don't even know what I would answer to that.
Okay.
Because here I am telling you to talk to your, but like I know, I don't know what I know.
And do you,
but I
if
have
you think they exist, do you think that there are people that used to be alive and now they're dead? Or do you think they're just like beings or something, like angels?
I think that it is that there are energies. Like, have you seen the movie Inception? No, you haven't. Oh, for Pete's sake.
No, I have seen that movie.
Did you see Inception?
Yeah, I saw that one. I haven't seen Interstellar. That's the one.
I mean, that's what I meant, Interstellar. Oh. God damn it. I'm equally as worked up.
Okay.
I go back to my original reaction. That. Have you seen Interstellar?
No.
That will help. I think that does the best job of connecting the science with the spiritual, with the supernatural.
Okay.
Because I think that I take a look at the more I studied quantum physics, the more I looked at things on a very small, like the smallest way we can.
You know what, Sarah? It reminds me of that thing you talked about a long time ago about how we think that our brains are providing us with all the information around us and sensing everything that's there. But then that story about the tribes that don't have the word for blue, and then they can't see blue. Like if you give them a rainbow, they can only see the colors that they have names for. And how our language
I get goosebumps as you talk about this.
Our language is inadequate in some ways, and it prevents us from actually seeing the totality of world around us. So that could include things like ghosts and other weird beings.
100%. There you go. Yes. There are so many stories about this. There's the story about the like medicine man or shaman who in the indigenous people who weren't able to see the boats of
exactly right
of Christopher Columbus or wherever, and like I don't even know if that was whatever colonizer was coming in to fuck shit up like they do. It's another story. But they weren't even
they had no
able
word
to
for
see that.
mediocre white man.
They didn't even have that word. Oh God, this is my favorite episode. They didn't even have that, and so it was inviting in possibility, opening up the mind to something else, saying, I don't know, but let me think outside of my realm of experience.
Yeah. Or the known world or whatever.
The known world. Ooh, God, I love that even more. Yes. And as soon as you do that, I feel like the information comes in a weird way. And like, so when you look at like quantum physics and things, and like string theory that says like we're in, oh my gosh, and the time was exactly at 11:11 when I said that.
Make a wish.
Ooh. But when, if we are happening in different dimensions or things are existing in some different way and energy is existing in these different planes that we can't even see, like, what is matter even? I mean, they say like this desk that I'm on is like, yeah, it's like a desk, but it's mostly not stuff. Mm-hmm. It's the space in between. So what the heck? We don't know anything. So I think that here's what we know. We know energy energy isn't created or destroyed. It like exists.
Yeah.
Like it's there. So the energy needs to go somewhere. It needs to it goes somewhere. It's something. I just think it is not in a physical body, this vessel that we call, a person. Mm-hmm. And it's something else. I don't know what that is, but I like not knowing. And I'll tell you, there's this new show that I resisted for like a million years called Surviving Death on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Holy crap.
It's great, isn't it?
Did you see it?
I watched the first 2 episodes, and then I didn't like it because it moved towards more medium stuff.
Susie, that school that they show in there, my mom went to.
I thought she might.
That's her school that she calls Hogwarts for humans
for
or whatever, for psychics. She went there, and I was like, Mom, did you ever see a seance? And she goes, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what?
Right.
It's like nothing for her. Mm-hmm. And there it is. So that movie, that show, but you missed the best episode because the best episode is episode 4 and 5.
Wait, why? What are those about?
Oh, my gosh. It's called Signs from the Dead.
Okay.
And it's all people, and it's, so one of your favorite stories and my favorite story is about my grandma and the bird and showing up in my house. They're all stories like that.
Okay.
And then people who totally resisted, who were, oh my God, it's so unbelievable, Susie. You have to watch it. Like, there's a couple who had a son that passed away, and these are very logical, science-driven people. I think they are in research or in science. And the way that they talk, like this mom is like, I don't believe anything. And the things that happen to them are so magical and unexplainable. And like it happened to one parent and we're talking like, I don't even want to spoil it for you because it's so good.
Okay.
But you just have to see it because I love when people who are very resistant and very like, nope, this isn't a thing.
Right, don't be silly.
Are basically bitch slapped by, the universe of like, no, you can't say that. Here's the proof. And it's like so, I love it. Because like, I don't know. It just feels like when you have an experience like that with somebody, a loved one, your own experience with that, it is true, and you know it to be in a way that's not just like, I think. It's I know. Mm-hmm. And that knowing is such a, it's such a good feeling.
Yeah. I just find
That's
it
like what we
nice to
strive
be
for,
open
knowing.
to it.
Yes.
You know, it's fun to think, well, we don't have all the answers, and who knows what exists beyond our understanding. That's fun.
Yeah, it's so fun. And, like, I feel like my grandma really does, like, hang out. Like, I can, and I didn't even think about this. I had never thought about this before. But in the show, they say that signs from the dead, sometimes it appears for people like a smell. Like, you can smell them and you can't get it out of your head. Well, I've had that where I'm like...
You've told me that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was that I used like a bar of soap or something, but it's like more than that. Or like I ate something
like
that my grandma...
essence.
Like, and as soon... I got like chills down my spine when I put that together, where it was... But like comfort, warm, good ones. Where it was just like, oh, that is grandma in a weird way. And doesn't it feel good?
Do you feel like your grandma would love monk bars?
Well, I know I love monk bars. Susie, I was like kind of doubting you about the coconut one because I was like, how freaking good can this be? And I don't know why I slept on it. Here's why. Because that one doesn't come. I'm like going to tell you my whole story about my afternoon now. So I liked the one. I like when they come in the clear packaging because like you can see the
what's cooking in there.
delicious nuts and chocolates and all the good stuff. So I just like usually go for those first because I feel like it's like like those cards that you like unwrap and you're like, oh, I didn't even get any of the special ones. But this one was not like that. So I had not eaten the coconut one. It is like a delicious coconut macaroon. Is that what they're called?
Yes.
It tastes like I'm eating dessert. Like this is dessert.
Right. And that's why I couldn't believe it.
And I didn't even know that.
Right. That's why I couldn't believe it only had 1 gram of sugar. And I get so mad when I love something a lot and I feel like I can't explain it to the brainiacs good enough. Like, I'm telling you. You can do it. They're so good, and they're so great for breakfast. Lincoln has asked for them probably a dozen times, and then I wouldn't let him eat the coconut ones because I wanted them.
Well, that's smart.
Right, and so I just bought a whole box of them. But
that's smarter.
We solved the problem. But they're great.
I was going to say, there's only 2 in that variety pack. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, Link, get your own.
Right. No vacancy. And they're just great for a late night treat, or if you've had an edible, some of us do.
Like some of us.
Just try it for yourself. You'll
see. That is a safe munchie.
It is a safe munchie.
And it gives you the crunch factor that you like.
It's very satisfying. We have a special deal for you guys. Get 20% off your first purchase of any Monk Pack product by visiting monkpack.com and entering our code CANDY at checkout. Oh, I was looking at the ingredients, and they have monk fruit, which is why it's called that. Anyway.
Which is the sweet thing that makes it sweet.
Right. And Monk Pack is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll exchange the product or refund your money, whichever you prefer. To get started, just go to monkpack.com. That's MUNKPACK.com. Select any product, then you use our code CANDY at checkout to save 20% off your purchase. Monk Pack, delicious, nutritious food you can count on. Thank them for sponsoring our show.
I think I'll treat myself to one of those later.
Yeah, right? A little boost, a little something. Anyway.
Okay, let me
else?
think. What did I want to talk to you
on
about
the
today?
agenda?
So, so I have been telling everybody about this shortage of sperm thing that we talked about that I just can't get over because it seems like, and this is what I thought. So I thought that there was going to be a baby boom.
I know.
That is not the case.
Right.
What the heck?
It's
the opposite.
When I saw a tweet about it, and it made sense. It was like, well, yeah, there's not been a baby boom as we've been sat at home thinking about how none of us have good health care and can't afford, and women have to quit work. Like, once they put it that way, I was like, yeah, right. We're not breeding in that mindset.
Did you hear the number that it's estimated that like the decline in births that's going to be like next year? A 500,000.
It's going down.
Yes.
Wow.
500,000 fewer births next year.
Wow.
Which is very, would that, I don't know if it puts us on a population decline,
like a decline,
or whatever.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that happened to Japan.
Right, and they got real upset about it.
Yes, it was, and like the ratio of men to women was,
Right.
But
I mean,
I really do feel like people are. It's just crazy to me that you have a shortage of sperm,
right,
and it's like the people who want to have babies can't have babies.
Don't you feel like all the wrong people are having them?
This is that fucking movie. That movie. Oh gosh, everybody's screaming it. It's the one that in the future, and everybody puts Gatorade on their plants because it says it has electrolyte in. Oh,
I don't know that one.
It's so good. It's like it's a joke, but it's also now fucking accurate. Idiocracy.
Okay.
Which also sounds like Interstellar, which also sounds like Inception. So it is fair that I confused those for everybody who's
Just
going,
go
oh
see
my
all
gosh,
of them.
Sarah can't. Just see them all. They're all good. So yes, but that movie is all about like a guy who like wakes up in the future where it explains it's this. It's like the people who said, I'm going to have kids after I get my master's degree and after I open my own business and da-da-da. And then by the time they do that, they can't have kids and they're struggling with infertility. And then it's like the like white trash, hillbillies who are like, well, I can say that because, Susie, my best friend is white trash.
We come from a long line. Right. It's the family business.
Yeah. So, yeah, so and then they're having like 8 children, and then the president ends up being some like I don't know guy who's essentially like what's that like Joe Rogan and Trump in one or something like that,
God.
and probably and then everybody starts watering their plants with Gatorade because it has electrolytes, and all they know in the future is that electrolytes are good for you, and then it ends up killing all their crops.
My
and
God.
so like it's like. And the favorite TV show is like "Ouch, You Hit My Balls" or something, where you just like people. It's just like a video repeat of people getting kicked in the nuts. This is essentially the world we are living in,
Right. That sounds
with just
like
a little
right
less
now.
Gatorade, but like not really because we're just covering things with pesticides and doing like what are they called? The big crops.
Yeah, right. You call them crop dusters or whatever. Wait, no,
not those,
chemtrails.
but like when you do like all one crop in.
Oh yeah, that makes
and
me
it wipes
sad.
out the bees and like all the stuff. There's a name for that too. I'm like forgetting all of my important
Who
words
cares?
today, so
Whatever.
Who cares? Whatever.
Fuck it, I can't believe we're still doing this.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot to talk about, Susie.
Well, yeah, I'm nowhere near done.
Oh my gosh. So yes, that was one of the things that I wanted to update you on, of like, just like, I can't believe that there's that.
It is weird, though, that there would be a sperm
different
shortage and a baby bust
Yeah.
at the same time. But it makes sense that people aren't going to sperm banks to donate during the pandemic because they don't rather not go to a doctor's office and things like that.
Okay. Yeah. And, I like in sharing that with everybody, my mom was like, well, you know why they do that. And I was like, yes, Mom, I know. She goes, so everybody doesn't start dating and they don't start becoming weird. It was basically like exactly my answer.
Wait,
that
do
I
what?
The why they limit the sperm bank, like the people who can donate. Like you can only donate so many times. And
What's the reason?
I thought we talked about this, or maybe
What?
did I just do that in my head? That if you have the same guys, like maybe sometimes I like replay the episodes and then think we have these conversations.
No, I'm
but
not.
like
I just probably forgot.
when you the same guy can't be the only one donating.
Oh, yeah, they
because if
limit it,
everybody
right,
in the
yes.
town has the same daddy, might have some trouble a few
right.
generations down the line.
That suddenly makes more sense than it did the first time we talked about it.
Yeah. My mom explaining things does have.
She's good at that.
She is good at that. So, okay, what else do I want to talk about? I wanted to talk to you about that amazing TV show, Surviving Death. And then on the completely opposite end of the spectrum, another Netflix show that, oh my God, is the stinking cutest. The same people or the same production company that does Queer Eye for the Straight Guy does this one called Say I Do, where they throw a surprise wedding. Oh my God.
Tell me about it.
It is the cutest stories you've ever heard in your gosh darn life. I love. It is so, it's like we need things that remind us of the joy and remind us of, you know, I just love that shit right now. It's like the Good News Network stuff. And so this show takes a couple that have had some sort of challenges or difficulties or have just been through some shit that prevented them from getting married or prevented them from having, like, you know, the first couple they got married, but their wedding was like an actual nightmare disaster. It literally caught on fire and they had to be evacuated. And like it couldn't have gone worse. It was so bad. And the stories are just so amazing and people are so deserving. And you just hear, you know, and it's well, I think it's only been straight couples that I've seen so far. I've only seen 2 episodes, but oh my God, ugly crying tears of joy, Susie.
Oh my gosh. So they don't know that they're going to be surprised.
Yes,
with
the
this
wife
wedding.
does it. The woman doesn't. She doesn't know. And often they're not engaged yet. I mean, in the first one they had a wedding and then it was an awful wedding. But from there on out, it's all people who are, you know, not engaged yet. So they have the engagement and then they have this amazing wedding. And
wait a minute.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Well, in the ones I've seen, they weren't engaged yet. Like one, oh my God. Well, I'll just tell you. Then in one, because it's just so sweet. So this couple had plans to get married. They had been together for, I think, 2 years. And, you know, he was like, I'm going to, as soon as we have, you know, money for me to get you the wedding ring of that you want and all this stuff, which, by the way, I feel like who cares about that?
The wedding?
The wedding ring. Like, who cares about...
Oh, right.
Like,
who cares about all of it, really?
Who cares about all of it? Like, the symbol is so much more important, you know? It's like, I feel like you can have one of those, like, rings out of the freaking toy machine. And
well, we've
if
really
that's
bought
the symbol,
into, like, the
Yes,
marketing.
it's so dumb.
Yeah.
Like that, and
Big
you're supposed
wedding.
and you have to spend, like, 3 times... Fuck that! No, you don't. For what? I don't know. Anyways, that's not the point. So,
if
the
you
point
get
is,
married again, what are you going to do?
if I get married again, what am I going to do?
Yeah,
well,
like
I definitely want to get married again.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like,
would you have
what am
any
I gonna
kind of
do
ceremony or anything?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I definitely want a ceremony. I love celebrating love.
Yeah.
I just don't like the expectation of it being like, I don't think anybody should do something that puts them in a financially difficult place.
Like the consumerism side of it.
The consumerism side. I think celebrating love is the most amazing thing in the whole wide world,
yeah,
and I want to do that all day, every day. And that's why I love these stinking shows. But, yeah. And there were definitely pictures of a wedding on my vision board that I made.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's nice, Sarah.
Oh, Suze, you're so sweet.
God.
Yeah, oh my God, you're going to make me cry. I love that reaction.
Oh, I just didn't, because I saw you were making a vision board, and I always imagine what you're putting on there, but I didn't think of that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, of course I do that. I want that.
That's nice.
Well, I figure, I mean, you're like... I feel like quarantine years are kind of like dog years, where like 1 year is like 7.
Totally.
So it's like, you're pretty sure. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I'm going to be with you forever. The end.
That's lovely.
So
where
I
is
love
this
it,
at your house? Do you have it?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'll take a picture and show you.
What else is on there? I'm not done with this conversation.
Oh, I love this combo. You know what? It's funny because like when you make it I don't go in with the intention of like, this is what I want to have on there. It's more like I'm looking through a magazine. I'm looking through a bunch of magazines. I'm trying to look at pictures that feel like what I want to bring into my life, you know? Mm-hmm. And whatever kind of comes from that. When I was done, it was all pictures of nature. It was just nature, outdoors. It was about like turning it from a house to a home kind of thing.
That's
and
nice.
then a lot about like getting outside and like taking a time out in nature and outdoors and living and like pictures of skiing and pictures of, you know, and I was luckily able to find a good selection of biracial couples.
Oh, that's so
which
nice.
I, you know, because that really does
Makes a
change things. I
difference.
didn't want to put on I want something that looks like, you know, us and like looks like I like that. And so I was like, yeah. When we first sat down to do these vision boards, Ren and I did like a year ago or so, to do another vision board. That was one of the problems we ran into. It was like, well, we need to go out and get some new magazines because none of these are just a bunch of white people, and they look. This is like, I want this. So
It seems like that's
Yes.
improving.
Yes.
Well, another thing we love around here besides love is feeling safe and sound, which sometimes it can be hard to do when you're a lady wandering about town. And now there's a new product that can help you feel a little safer. It's called She's Birdie. Like when you're leaving the house now and you're like, do I have my phone, my keys, my mask, my wallet? Now you can say, do I have my She's Birdie? Because it's super easy to carry. It's a personal safety alarm designed to be easy to carry and simple to use. So like if the bad guys are coming for you, you can pull the alarm and it will emit a loud 130 decibel siren and flashing strobe lights to help deter an attack, and can give you some peace of mind when you're out and about. And it's no danger to you, like pepper spray and stuff. That can be such a pain and problematic for the person trying to feel safer. So She's Birdie is such a better option, and you can use it without worry. Right now, She's Birdie is offering our listeners 15% off your first purchase when you go to shesbirdie.com and use promo code BrainCandy. Go to She's Birdie, spelled SHESBIRDIE.com, promo code BrainCandy to get 15% off your first purchase. That's shesbirdie.com, promo code BrainCandy.
Change of subject. This is basically like Sarah's episode of things you need to watch also. But I'm trying to think. Do I probably have other stuff too. But you have to see the movie American Skin. I mean,
someone else told me that.
Everyone needs to see this movie. It is a homework assignment.
We got a brainiac telling us to watch it. She works in law enforcement, but she's a woman of color.
Yes.
And so she understands like both sides of like the police and the, you know, problems.
Well, there's a totally other kind of crying right there. I mean, this movie is one of it should win Best Picture.
Wow.
I don't see why. Oh, I'm gonna cry thinking about it. I don't see why it wouldn't. It forces, you know what? And I was telling Ren that Ren unfortunately did not get to see the end of Promising Young Woman, even though I keep telling him we have to watch it again. It does the same thing. Mm-hmm. It forces you to look really hard at what is happening and not turn away and give all sides of it and a different side that is a story that we see day in and day out, but don't really get to like emotionally experience. We read it in a newspaper. We post something about it on Instagram, and then it's just like this thing out there, and it's so we forget the emotion. And
like
what I'm talking about is, I mean, what do you even want to call this? Like systemic racism, and police brutality. And, you know, there's so many, it covers all of that. Mm-hmm. And racial profiling. Oh, he should win Best Actor, for sure. 100%. It is so stinking good. So everybody should see it. And I told her, I was like, I really hope white people see this movie. Like, why everybody needs to see this movie. It needs, and I was like, is this one that? Because do you feel like Black Klansman was one that white people saw too?
Mm-mm.
What? I thought that was what I used. It's like, well, I think a lot of white people saw that.
Maybe you're right, though. I don't know.
I don't know either. But
I don't know.
I just really think that all of our listeners, everybody needs to see this movie and then tell their friends to see it and watch it with their families and have discussions about it, and just it gives all the talking points, not like all of the other sides like rebuttals, and
right.
You see why that doesn't work.
It's very hard to get someone to see something they don't want to see.
Yeah. Well, didn't we? If this isn't full circle,
right? I mean,
this is that. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the color blue.
Because people that I know that kind of think this is all silly and what are you talking about? Everything's been fine since like the civil rights era or whatever.
I'm sick.
It's very hard to present data that they will accept or even care about. Because they don't want to.
Well, you know what? That's why yes. I'm glad you said that. Because that is why art, music, movies, poetry, this stuff, why it exists, why we have to do it. Because we're not touching that, we're not reaching that side through data anymore. It's through emotion. You watch this, you would be a soulless human being and a freaking sociopath to watch that and not be gutted. Like, it's the human, it makes my heart hurt. Mm-hmm. But people don't see that.
Yeah.
The pain and the suffering. And, like, that's what people need to see, not data, not numbers, not this argument. See the pain, see the moms, see the families. Oh, it's so sad.
I can understand why people who are in the Black community feel hopeless, though, because it does feel like it's never going to change.
Yes, and it's oh God, it's hard to look at, but this is that you have to do it.
Yeah.
And so we can. Oh, I said I wasn't going to cry in this episode,
or
did I say I was going to? I don't remember.
You said you were feeling emotional before we started, but I was saying that I'm glad when you cry because I think people are very raw right now and feeling all sorts of really painful things. And so when you reflect that, I think they feel seen.
Oh, well, thank you. And it is, I talk to clients about this too. It's kind of like, those days where you're having a bad day and then you stub your toe and it's just like the pain of that is just, and you just want to cry. We're all in that like, just one stubbed toe away from, crying our eyes out it just is, that's what long-term stress and exposure to what we're dealing with. We're like, I mean, Ren and I talk about it all the time. Like, we can't wait to see what the studies are going to say.
It's not good.
Years from now about what, like, just the overall general health of all of us, right?
Yeah. It's not looking good.
Not looking good. I'm trying to think of if I even have news that is looking good I'm looking at my list. I mean, this actually is good news. And so it kind of links back to what we were saying about the baby stuff, because maybe you don't want to get pregnant. This was exciting, an update in the world of contraceptives.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. There is a new lubricant that has been developed, it's kind of like a gel, that is considered this like breakthrough in the field of contraceptives.
Thank God.
It's what they call the triple threat. It prevents pregnancy.
Well, a lube?
Yep.
Okay.
Get ready for this. Inhibits viruses. And increases libido.
Wow.
Amen.
How is that possible?
Right? And it has a higher contraceptive success rate than most things on the most gels on the market, and it's safer for intercourse.
Is it like a spermicide? Is that even a thing?
Yes. So
Okay.
the gel it's like a 3-part gel. Like there's 3 different things in it, and the 3 different ingredients, or I don't know, whatever the heck they are. I'm sure they have like fancy scientific names. Are designed to do and they're proven like FDA safe, which that was my question. When I was first thinking about this, I'm like, that seems like anything that could kill sperm would really affect the pH of a vagina.
Absolutely.
Right? So they managed to do that, and they somehow developed this gel that has the exact same pH as the vagina, so it makes it compatible, and it doesn't seem to damage any of the functions or any of, anything that goes on with the woman.
And it makes you horny.
And it increases blood flow. It kept so this is because, the study and all that, like the results are great, but I always like how they do the studies and how on earth, because they can't do human trials with this stuff first. So that means we got to give little mice little erections.
No.
And so
Nothing makes us happier than mice doing things that humans do.
Mice in space.
Mice getting boners.
Mice getting boners. So what they did is they put the gel on the female mice on their little mice vaginas. It's just crazy to me that these are jobs that there's somebody has to go home and I just would love to be that person's therapist and process that. Just to know what things go on inside somebody's head when that's their job. Not sexual stuff, obviously, because that's weird. But I would just want to know what if they're science, doing this for science. Is it weird, or is it they don't even think about it? It's just because it would be weird to me.
Yeah, that's a good question, because maybe it depends on the person.
Yeah, because. Oh, well, this is related, but an aside. But Ren and I were watching Shark Tank last night, and there was this guy who was coming on there to do, and I think this is freaking genius. Okay. It's a cup, like a urine sample cup that you'd pee into, and then you put a lid on it, and the lid has these strips that measure different proteins and stuff in the urine that can detect diseases and stuff that's off in your dog.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So, freaking genius, right?
Yeah.
You know what the pushback they got from the sharks was?
What?
Who's going to want to stick their hand? How do you get the dog to pee in the cup? Oh, you put your hand out there. Who's going to want to do that? I don't know. Any dog owner who... Ren and I looked at each other do they have dogs?
Yeah, maybe
do they know?
Don't.
Because... and then we thought, wow, these are billionaires. Did they even clean up their own dog shit? If they probably not. So they don't even do that. And so I would to me that was a no-brainer. It was if I have an elderly dog, and plus anybody who's had a child or a dog and you've taken care of it, you know how many times we've had shit on us and been peed on. This is a part of this is
it's the same with
you
being
take
a
care
parent.
of another thing. Yeah, it's the same. No big deal. You just deal with it. And it's part of the deal. And it was crazy to me that they got pushed back for that. So that I see as no big deal. They're dog pee in this cup or whatever. So I'm thinking in connecting the two, maybe it's that with these scientists who are I'm going to rub some freaking gel on the mouse vagina, whatever.
Yeah, do you think that's what they do? Or do you think
yes, I know that's what they do. They say it.
They use their finger or what?
Yeah. Oh, it did not say that.
Okay, I wonder.
That's another really good question. Does it change it if it's the finger or if it's but is that just for us? And are these mice already just being I have questions. Anyways, so what they do is they put it on the little mouse vagina, and they found out that they did this for 21 days. None of the mice not a single mouse got pregnant.
Wow.
And their little mice boners lasted for 20 minutes, which seems kind of dangerous in a little mouse.
Wonder what it
usually is. Because I don't know if
usually
time is this. Yeah, I don't know either. It feels like that, in human. I don't know if I
Do they
don't think
engage in a
time
lot of
works the
foreplay,
same
or-
as like what would mouse foreplay look like?
Right? Just like cheese. Something with
Oh,
cheese.
that is. It is really funny, those videos that people post on like TikTok or whatever of like where it really does look like they've walked in on their animal pleasuring themselves, and the cat looks up and is like, looks like they've been caught. Have you seen these?
No.
You're like, what the hell are you watching on TikTok? No, this is like, I've seen this, and there was like a TikTok of this cat that was
That's
floating
funny.
around, and that was really funny.
I had to wipe my cat's butthole yesterday with a wet wipe.
Oh, why?
It just stunk.
Ew. Well, yeah, because that makes sense. That's gross. Cat,
Yeah,
ugh.
that's like gross. Yeah, cats are gross. I mean, let's face it.
I mean, here's the thing. All things are gross.
Yep. People.
Humans,
Yep.
disgust. All of us. And
Yeah.
there's nothing that's not, I mean, we just like shed skin all the time. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, right? When you're dusting, that's just your old bag of bones
stop.
there.
Stop. We got bugs living in our eyebrows and shit. And like parasites inside of us. Oh. Speaking of parasites inside of us, Susie, you were not fucking kidding about how much I would love the show Alone.
Oh my God, how great is it?
I'm obsessed. Obsessed.
It is.
Like,
What do you love about it? Like, what's your favorite part about
I
it?
love watching burly men break.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I love watching these men who think that they're really tough have these real cathartic emotional releases where they have to look at themselves and they really just go through this almost like forgiveness where they like get in touch with a different side of themselves and it's like raw vulnerability in front of the camera, and I just love that.
I
And
cannot
also I
wait.
just like want to see how they survive.
I can't wait for you to see my interview with Barry because he was
my favorite.
that's why I asked him to do it, because I was so enamored with him. It like his
What a good
spirit.
attitude. He has such a good spirit. He has such, because he was playful.
That's what I said to him. I said,
see?
I really admired your ability to make fun and have playtime by yourself.
Yes.
That's a real gift.
He's probably a great dad.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine?
I put it on Patreon, and it's I put it available to the public, even if you're not one of our patrons, because I want people to see it.
Yes. Oh my God, you're the best.
Like,
I love that, Suze.
He speaks about mental health and what happens to you out there, how you get broken open, all the things you're describing.
Oh.
And
I
who's
can
more
see it
tough
and
than a
feel
guy
it.
that survived the Arctic, but he can still acknowledge his rich interior life?
Yes. Oh, I get goosebumps. That is
Beautiful.
it. It is so beautiful. And it's so, I feel like when you strip people down, it's kind of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
That's what I
thing we were talking
said.
about. Susie!
We are on the same page.
It's just such a good show, and it's so I love it. I feel like season 1 you can just like toss out, because like they were learning what they were like working through the kinks, and there were no men or no women, and I didn't like any of that.
I didn't know
and
that.
it was a big switch to go from season 6 to season 1, because season 1, like it bugged me when it would say 10 men remain, and I'd just be like, "Oh!" Every time. I hated it. So I watched it, but I was just like, and they were wusses.
Really?
Yeah, one guy quit the first night.
I wouldn't do that just out of
Right?
pride and vanity.
No, I'm not kidding. Like, spoiler alert, 3 of them are gone within the first 4 days.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
But I was like, these little wusses.
It's come a long way then.
Yeah, I think the casting got better.
Yeah.
And I want to know where they find them.
I asked him that, and he sent in a tape, but he said some of them are scouted.
Yeah,
you know?
it seemed
Yeah.
like these are kind of people that would need to be scouted. That's
Yeah,
what I was
'cause-
telling Ren. I love it when my guesses
Yeah.
are the thing
You
that is
do love
correct.
that.
I love it, because I told Ren, like, I'm going to, when you ask me a question and it's posed as a question, it's like, hey, what do you think about
Right.
this?
You love it.
I will give you 100% of the time what I think about that.
Yes, you will.
It does not mean it's correct, but I'm going to tell you what I think, and I'm going to tell you in a way that sounds like
That's basically our entire show.
I know. That is our entire show. So it worries me sometimes that I'm like, God, I don't know about this stuff years later. It sure as hell was like that with the 2020 when I came in all optimistic and like,
right.
Oh, every time I hang out with friends, they always, and they listen to the podcast. That is the first thing they say when I hang out. They're like, you were hilarious about what you said in 2020.
No.
How about how wrong you were about that? I'm like, yeah, I get it. We were wrong. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, we can't always be right.
Yeah, and like, I'm right a lot, so, you know.
You really are. Sarah's whole personality is like, I'm glad you asked.
Yes! Thank you, Susie. I am glad you asked. But
Susie.
I want to share speaking of things that... like gathering knowledge and asking questions. I want to share a very important thing that I learned and I kind of like, it was a nice reminder, we'll put it that way, in my hunt for a house.
Right.
Susie.
Yeah.
One of the places, I got this feeling. I was like, you know, I think I just need to hop on Megan's Law.
Oh my God, really?
Yes. In California, there is a law called Megan's Law where you can put in an address and you can see how many registered sex offenders there are in your area, as you should be allowed to do, because that is dangerous.
Yeah.
And I went to go see this open house, and I got that feeling like, in a half a mile radius, there were 8.
Oh.
And I was like, that'll be a no. But then that wasn't really the one that where I think and I straight up told them. I went to the open house, and I, like, as soon as I walked up, because I had an appointment, I was like, you know, I'm real sorry, but like, I don't want to waste any of your time. It's going to be a no for me. And I'll tell you, here's why. Like, I don't know if you want to inform other people who are residents of this, which you do have to do, but you have like 8 within a half mile radius of here. And I think there's some, like, I don't know, apartment complex or something that like allows that. And
do you think that that's a high
like,
number or a typical number? Like, if anyone were to do that?
Well, I think it tends to be areas of concentration. Like, they tend to be concentrated because of laws and limits and like zoning and being within a school and stuff like that.
Right.
So I found, you know, I looked in like where I live right now, it's like 25 to 30. Because within like I think it's like 3/4 of a mile radius, because it's just so densely populated here.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah, it depends on that.
The thing that was the real, like, where I felt like it was like an intervention from the universe, there was a house that Ren and I had already, like, the night before, I had submitted an application for. The night before I had, before doing this little research, I had, told Ren, hey, can you, finish, like, filling out that application? And he did. So this was a house that I was, like, they're so few and far between. I was very excited to go see. And then after visiting this other house, and like, we had applied, like here's my application to put us in the running. And after visiting this other house and having that thought in the back of my head, I was like, let me just check this address. Susie.
Yep.
The next door neighbor.
Ew.
The house next door.
Nope.
The house next door.
That is
not
horrifying.
1, not 2, but 3 counts against children.
Oh my God.
We will not. And I was like,
That's
my
so
stomach
sad.
just like dropped, that I was like, oh my God, I want to just tell whoever, like, I hope people know that they need to look this information up, because I mean, I don't care if it's the house of your dreams.
Right.
I mean, that to me is like, protect your children. And that that is one where I just don't think that there's a lot of, like recidivism, the recidivism rate or whatever that's called.
Well, I was thinking about that, Sarah, how not just with that particular problem.
Population? Oh,
Yeah. But with, you know how we often talk about like anyone with a personality disorder and how it's kind of like bad news bears because there isn't a lot that can be done unless the person is really interested in changing, which they typically are not.
Really interested in changing, because I don't want people to be like, well, this person I know, da-da-da. Yeah, it can't. Sure, it absolutely
It's
in some
very
cases,
rare.
but that's not the norm.
And it's very frustrating for me because I don't know how you get past that. If you know somebody suffers with a personality disorder, sociopathy, narcissism, stuff like that, I don't know. What's the hope there? Not too much.
Not too much. Setting good boundaries. To not let yourself become a victim of that.
I hope something
i.e.
happens.
not living next door.
I hope something happens down the line where we learn some cures or something. Treatments, I should say. I know, but maybe someday.
Yeah. I mean...
We can't but hope.
Yeah. Oh, God, it just is so scary. So, yeah, so I definitely wanted to give people that, you know, I don't want to, like, terrify people, but I do want people to be informed. And it, like, because I just feel like if I didn't know that and I signed a lease and I think about the difficulty I'm having getting out of a lease when there's a very serious problem, you know, saying I don't want to live next door because I don't feel safe with that person. I don't know if that qualifies.
It's good that you check, though, and because that's so important to you.
Yeah.
But it is so disappointing.
Yeah, but it's good that we have those things out there and, you know, to be able to do that. And, you know, the good news is that the crime rates in the other areas and then the house I'm looking at this weekend is not at all next to anybody like that.
We'll cross
and
our fingers.
Very low. So keep our fingers crossed. And let's wind it down, you know? We, like, talked about impregnating little mice, mouse boners. Or not impregnating them, actually. The opposite. Which hopefully can turn into a thing about humans using this and maybe can reduce the risk, which is what the point I was trying to maybe one day get to, a million subjects I talked about in this one, but maybe reducing, you know, fertility problems that come from hormone, like, you know, or throwing people who have like reactions to birth control and things like that. So maybe by using a spermicide or like something that's a gel, we can reduce some of the side effects that women have to deal with from taking birth control.
I mean, lube scientists are doing the Lord's work.
They really are.
And we learned that Sarah loves love a lot.
Oh, I love love. And you should definitely watch Say I Do. And you should and you have to see American Skin.
Yeah, I love giving them homework.
Yeah, it's great. Well, and Susie, every show you've ever recommended to me has been
so far
amazing.
So good. That's great.
So far so good. I mean, we have the Great British Baking Show and Alone. And it's really like, what else do I need?
That makes me happy.
And then I always run it by my friend Sarah Cunningham, or Sarah Sagan now, I guess. Shout out to Sarah. And whenever she tells me, oh my gosh, yes, I've already seen it, every single one. In fact, you need to start with this, and then you need to do. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's some good shit.
Yeah, she's a documentary junkie too.
Yes, she like, yeah, she's got the good like bar for what's good stuff. So, what else? Yeah, we talked about love. We talked about that. That was
Signs from the Dead, Susie's Ghost.
Yeah, Susie's Ghost.
A lot of activity. I'm going to show you the light thing because it happens all the time.
Oh my God. Well, that's why you need to see episode 4 and 5.
Okay. I'm going to watch
Signs from the Dead, because you will see the light stuff. And you'll be like, oh yeah, that looks familiar.
I hope
I can't wait.
Maybe
Can
all
you
these
talk
ghosts
to her?
will. I will. I'll do that for you.
Ask her some questions or something.
Okay.
What she likes to do. Tell her to give you a sign. Because I was thinking knitting too.
Well, she did knitting. Remember? That's what Adam saw her doing. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what would she like? And maybe like you put out a few things. Oh my God. If one of them is moved.
I'm going to do a ghost trap.
Yes, Susie. Why have you not done anything?
I'm sleeping on the job. I'm sorry.
I'm winding it up when we're supposed to be cooling it down.
I'm sorry. Yeah, well, maybe all these ghosts will leave us 5-star reviews, and then we'll be even, Steven.
Yeah, and then you guys can in IRL, in the real world.
IRL.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you next time.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Did you know that everyone has an aura? Do you know what color your aura is? Maybe you have a fiery red personality or a quiet and calm blue or green. You could be an organized and methodical yellow or an explosive purple. Come join me, Mystic Michaela, on my podcast, Know Your Aura, to find out all about how your personality can be explained in colors.